In the world of professional wrestling, scripted drama often blurs with reality, creating moments that captivate audiences and spark endless debate. On the April 4th episode of WWE's Friday Night SmackDown, fans witnessed a promo exchange between Charlotte Flair and Tiffany Stratton that veered sharply off script, leaving the wrestling community buzzing with speculation. This unscripted confrontation, marked by personal jabs and raw emotion, has been described by some as a WWE nightmare, while others see it as a bold, if chaotic, moment that could redefine the trajectory of both superstars. With WrestleMania 41 looming just over a week away at Allegiant Stadium, where Flair is set to challenge Stratton for the Women's Championship, this promo has become a lightning rod for discussion. Let's dive into the details, dissecting what happened, exploring the backstage fallout, and analyzing whether this was a calculated risk that paid off or a segment that spiraled out of control. To set the stage, Charlotte Flair and Tiffany Stratton have been building toward a high-stakes showdown at WrestleMania 41. Flair, a multi-time world champion and one of WWE's most decorated stars, is a veteran known for her in-ring prowess and commanding presence. Stratton, a rising star with undeniable charisma and athleticism, has quickly ascended the ranks, earning her first taste of championship glory. Their rivalry, fueled by contrasting personas, Flair's polished legacy versus Stratton's brash confidence, has been a focal point of SmackDown's women's division. The April 4th promo was meant to be the final push, a verbal sparring match to heighten anticipation for their title clash. Instead, it became a moment that many believe will be remembered in infamy. The segment began with Stratton in the ring, delivering her scripted lines with her signature flair. She called Flair a Nepo baby, a jab at Flair's lineage as the daughter of wrestling legend Ric Flair. This was part of the planned dialogue, designed to highlight their differences. But Flair, standing across from Stratton, didn't stick to the script. She fired back, dubbing herself the Nepo Queen and embracing the label with a smirk. This ad-lib caught Stratton off guard, but it was only the beginning. Flair then mocked Stratton's high-pitched voice, mimicking her delivery in a way that felt personal and unscripted. The crowd's reaction shifted, sensing the tension escalating beyond the storyline. Stratton, visibly rattled, responded by digging into Flair's personal life. She referenced Flair's 3 divorces, quipping that Flair was 0 for 3 in marriages. This line, according to Backstage reports from sources like Fightful Select and Wrestling Observer, was not in the script. The comment landed like a bombshell, drawing gasps from the audience. Stratton, perhaps realizing she'd crossed a line, dropped the microphone, a classic heel move, and rolled out of the ring. The problem? Stratton is positioned as the babyface in this feud, and her actions muddled the dynamic. Flair, not one to let the moment pass, chased after her, shouting about Stratton's real-life boyfriend, Ludwig Kaiser, allegedly being in her DMs. This, too, was unscripted, dragging personal relationships into the fray. The segment ended in chaos, with announcer Wade Barrett stepping between the two women to prevent further escalation. Backstage, the fallout was immediate. Fightful Select reported that the situation was described internally as a wreck, with both women facing heat for deviating from the plan. Flair, as the veteran, bore the brunt of the criticism. Sources noted that her decision to mock Stratton's voice and escalate the personal attacks set the tone for the derailment. Stratton, while not blameless, was seen as reacting to Flair's provocations, though her divorce jab and exit from the ring were also unapproved. Wrestling Observer Liv's Brian Alvarez broke it down further, emphasizing that Flair's experience should have guided her to keep things on track, not push them further off course. Adding to the complexity was the crowd's reaction. From the moment Flair stepped into the ring, she was met with overwhelming boos. This wasn't new. Flair has long struggled with mixed fan reception, often attributed to her perceived overexposure or the shadow of her family name. On this night, the audience made it clear they were Team Stratton, cheering her jabs and drowning out Flair's attempts to speak. Flair's decision to address the boos directly, another unscripted move, was seen as standard ad-libbing and didn't draw significant heat backstage. However, it highlighted a deeper issue: Flair's struggle to navigate hostile crowds. For longtime wrestling fans, this isn't a new phenomenon. Flair's career has been marked by moments where fan backlash has thrown her off balance. Unlike legendary heels like Triple H or Stephanie McMahon, who could lean into crowd hostility and turn it to their advantage, Flair appeared flustered. She started and stopped her promo, trying to talk over the boos, which only amplified the crowd's resolve. This dynamic shifted her focus away from the millions watching at home. a cardinal sin in a television-driven product like WWE. The fans in the arena, while vocal, are a small fraction of the audience. Flair's inability to prioritize the broader narrative underscored a rare misstep for a performer of her caliber. Stratton, by contrast, showed flashes of resilience. At 25, she's still early in her career, lacking Flair's polish and experience. Yet, in the heat of the moment, she held her own, firing back with a line that, while controversial, resonated with the live crowd. Her decision to drop the mic and leave, while not ideal for her babyface role, was a bold move that kept her in the spotlight. Some argue she handled the situation better than Flair, adapting to the chaos with a confidence that belied her years in the business. WWE Hall of Famer Booker T, on his podcast, cautioned against expecting Stratton to match Flair's promo skills, noting that Flair's decade-plus in the industry gives her an edge. Still, he acknowledged Stratton's potential, suggesting her ceiling as a star remains sky-high. The question now is where WWE goes from here. Despite the backstage heat, there's no indication that the Wrestlemania match is in jeopardy. Flair vs. Stratton is locked in, with most insiders and betting odds favoring Flair to win the title. This outcome, while logical given Flair's status, has sparked debate among fans who see Stratton as the future of the division. Her youth, charisma, and in-ring ability make her a compelling champion, and many believe dethroning her so soon could stunt her momentum. Others argue that Flair, at 39, remains the gold standard, and a title win would solidify her legacy while setting up future storylines. The promo's fallout also raises questions about WWE's approach to shoot moments. Wrestling thrives on blending reality and fiction, but unscripted promos risk exposing the business in ways that don't always serve the story. When Flair and Stratton veered into personal territory, they broke the illusion, making it harder for fans to stay invested in the scripted rivalry. A true work shoot, where real-life elements are carefully woven into the narrative, requires discipline and trust, qualities that seemed absent in this exchange. The result was a segment that felt raw and real, but at the cost of clarity and professionalism. For Flair, the incident is a reminder of the challenges of staying relevant in a changing industry. Her talent is undeniable, but her struggles with fan perception and crowd dynamics suggest a need for growth. Stratton, meanwhile, emerged with newfound credibility. Her ability to stand toe-to-toe with a legend, even in a messy situation, has endeared her to fans who now see her as a scrappy underdog. Ironically, her heelish actions may have solidified her as a babyface, proving that wrestling's alchemy can turn chaos into opportunity. As WrestleMania 41 approaches, the Flair-Stratton saga will dominate headlines. WWE must navigate the delicate balance of addressing the promo's fallout while keeping the focus on the title match. For fans, the question isn't just who wins, but how this moment shapes the future of two of WWE's brightest stars. Was it a nightmare or a necessary spark? Only time will tell. But one thing is certain, the wrestling world won't stop talking about it anytime soon.